Osteogenesis imperfecta. Osteogenesis imperfecta goes by a few names, some being brittle bone disease, fragilitis ostium, OI, or Froelich disease. Osteogenesis imperfecta is a group of genetic disorders that mainly affect the bones. People with this condition have bones that are very fragile and break easily. If you look at the picture, there is a view on the left side of a normal bone and then a view on the right side of osteogenesis imperfecta bone. As you can see, the one with OI is significantly more fragile and brittle than the one on the left. OI was discovered in 1835 by a man by the name of Lobstein. The earliest case of OI was actually a mummified infant skeleton from ancient Egypt. There are 19 different forms of OI from type 1 all the way to type 19, but I will cover that later. So I compared a normal skeleton to a skeletal system with OI. A normal skeleton provides calcium to all parts of the body. It is the structural system of our body and it helps us to move our limbs. It protects organs and it stores bone marrow. A skeletal system with OI affects the production of collagen and connectivity tissue. People with OI have limited mobility. They might be bound to a wheelchair or have to use a walker. And bone fragments can actually harm or rupture vital organs instead of protecting organs like a normal system should. So there are three very common types of OI. The first type, type 1, is the most common and the least severe. So people with type 1 OI will have just a few fractures over their lifetime. Type 2 OI is the most severe, and actually this is where death occurs at or around the time of birth. 10% of people with OI are type 2, and usually that is a mutation in the egg or the sperm, so this happens early on. Type 3 is many bone fractures throughout the lifetime. 20% of people who have OI are type 3. And then type 4 through type 19 vary in severity, from fetal fractures and fetal death to just having a few fractures and being able to function as normally, but with a few adaptations or needing help and stuff, but not as severe as fetal death. So there are some physical features that make it easy to see somebody and know that they have OI. Some of those being having the whites of their eyes, they have blue on the outside instead of inside where usually the color of the eye is. They have a triangular face, a large cranium, early hearing loss that can start anywhere from their 20s to 30s. A barrel chest, so that's having a rounded chest instead of the more like a normal kind of ovular chest. Scoliosis is very common, and that's where your back curves. There's usually limb deformities, loose joints from the lack of connectivity tissue, stunted growth, and muscle weakness. It is caused by a genetic mutation, and that affects the genes that help make collagen, and without collagen you have weakened skin, bone, and tissues. There is no cure, and because there is no cure, you're focused mainly on disease management. This can be done through therapies, surgeries, medical braces, wheelchairs, and pain management. Effect on the community: 20,000 to 50,000 people in the United States have OI, and that's from type 1 all the way up to type 19, so that's all, including all types. It is equal across all genders and ethnicities. There is not one person who has it more, or one group that'll have it more than the other. It is not contagious, so because it is a genetic disorder, it will not, you can't cough on somebody and contract OI. It was actually shown in a study that if one parent has an OI gene, there is a 50% chance of the fetus getting OI, but it's hit or miss. Um, as for effects on ethical or moral conflicts, the only conflict I would worry about, aside from being bullied from being different in school and such, is strains within the family. So with having a child with disability, that causes a lot of marital strains and hardships. So that would be the only ethical or moral conflict. There's also a lot of problems between child abuse versus OI. If your child is coming undiagnosed to the hospital often with broken bones, quite often doctors see that as child abuse, and so if they're undiagnosed, you might have run-ins with police officers until your child gets a diagnosis. And then here are my references.